Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text us on 8 12 15. Follow us on Twitter at Frank on Absolute. Good talking to you. So, let's get that out of the way. That's like my morning exercises, I feel.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, get the moths out. You know the moths? Mm-hmm. You know those ones that live in the joints between your... They're not moths, are they?
No, absolutely not.
Except they're corpuscles.
Oh, yeah.
I always get those mixed up. Which are the ones that eat clothes?
Moths.
Ah. Okay.
They're banned in my house. Can I say, talking of clothes, you look pretty awesome today.
Thanks
very
very
dapper.
much.
Very dapper.
Am I dressed proper dapper from my napper to my feet?
I would say so, yeah.
What, dressed in style all the while with my father's old grey tie on?
That's what I'd say.
But I wouldn't give you twopence for my old watch chain. Old iron.
Oh, I see where you're going with
Everybody.
this.
There are cockneys now listening to this whose knees are... They won't be able to keep them still. Hey, that'll wake them moths up under the kneecaps. Yeah, I tell you what I did this week. I did a fashionable thing, and I'm not just talking about my outfit. I did like what the current craze.
Oh, yeah?
Yo-yo.
No, Tamagotchi.
Scooter. One of those little scooters.
No, these are two East End brothers who are terrorising the area. They're the modern craze.
I always saw myself as a bit of a
see.
Vi cray. I think I would have been good in that role.
I think you could easily be a gangster's mole.
It's always been one of my ambitions.
Yeah, a gangster's mole.
I'd probably be one of those slightly geeky, like, low down the wrong henchmen that got killed after about 3 scenes for having made a mistake. I think I wouldn't get to scene 4. I'd be
I
dead.
think you might squeal like a pig. You might rat on
Definitely
people.
be a squealer, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd be set fire to one-way ground. But get away and run off and set the whole woods on fire.
Uh-huh.
Are you witness protection programme, or do you get killed, Frank?
Not only would I die, but I'd take half a dozen holiday homes with me.
When people ask me if we plan this show,
Do they ask you that?
I often think, what, you really think we rehearse our deaths in craze films?
What do you mean? You know very well we've got this list here on microfiche of deaths in Christ film. What else we got here? I can't read. It's too small. Es ist so klein.
Anyway.
So what I did is I judged a bake-off.
But I thought you said judge ye not.
Well, yeah, I know that. I went against
Okay.
the advice of the New Testament.
A bake-off?
Yeah, because bake-offs are the big thing now. Everybody's baking. Because the Great
there's a
British
lot of
Bake-Off is
baking
it's a hot show.
Not for me, it's
A lot
not.
of baking happening.
Yeah, it is a hot show with all them ovens on. You with me? So I used hot in both in its form of meaning popular and also like a temperature reference.
Yeah.
So I was at this. It was a charity bake-off, and I had to judge the best cake.
If you don't mind me saying, you're a curious choice of judge.
Really?
I just wouldn't associate you with cakes necessarily.
No, well, but I've got quite a delicate palate. Not many people know that, but
Oh, yeah, you must have got that from those years growing up in...
I didn't have
Birmingham.
a palate at all for years. You must have seen. Did you see that sign on? It used to be on my house. Pallets wanted. No, but I did. I've got quite a delicate. Anyway, I had to eat. You don't have to eat a lot, but you have to eat enough to get a proper taste. So you think, well, I'll just have a little slice, but when there's like 20 cakes, more than that, it's a lot. A little slice. Especially when you imagine that cake all together, it's basically a cake, like a big... I just basically ate a big cake, but in variety.
Yeah.
And also, when you think of it in the abstract, you're thinking of your experience of cake, which is cake available in the commercial sector, which is...
As opposed to what?
Well, because that cake is in the main quite nice.
Uh-oh.
I see where we're going with this.
What you're doing is you're also eating quite a lot of nasty cake. And that ups the ante somewhat. You're not just eating a lot of cake, but some of it is... There was one that tastes... Honestly, it was
There's not a charred edge.
It
I
had-
can't bear a charred edge.
It had fruit on top, but it tasted very much of rubber, as if something might have fallen in. And of course, you have to eat it with.
Marigold cake.
Oh, you have to eat it with due gusto. So it's. And
I never liked that icing.
It's
and
not
also the
Gusto jus.
and also the sugar content of eating that much cake in a go is, you know.
I bet you were off the scale.
Well, it's like the first 12 tastes like cake. The second ones just taste of like spinal fluid, as your entire system just breaks down under the onslaught.
Yeah.
But and then there was a bit of. Well, I'll tell you in a minute. But we had a.
Was there an incident?
Oh God, there was an incident.
Oh, God.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So first of all, I had a fellow judge, and who I didn't know, because there was so much cake that one person couldn't.
Who was
try
it?
all.
Don't know. Cheryl Baker.
No, I do know.
Oh, very good.
Cheryl
I don't
Baker
think
would have been good.
That would have been
Baker,
good,
yeah.
Or better still, Cheryl Baker is nearly Cherry Bakewell, isn't it?
Joan Bakewell.
Joan Bakewell.
Joan Bakewell.
Friend of the
would have been
family. I
been
could have
good.
got her on board for you.
Yeah, that would have been good. Imogen Thomas.
Rudyard Kipling.
Yeah,
Very good.
so he was there actually.
I heard he was.
Yeah, but,
Go on. So, over at the cake stand,
he was complaining about some upside down cake, about the juicy bit and the sponge. Something about ne'er the twain shall meet.
Oh,
he
yeah.
said. So, first of all, there was one that was a beautiful. It was in the shape of a rabbit.
oh,
Yeah. And my fellow judge just started by cutting the head straight off it.
Oh, I was going to say, did you do that? That sounds fun.
No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that.
What do you do to a jelly baby, though? You take the head right off, don't
No,
you?
but I don't. I take it. I can't bite into a jelly baby. I take it like a lozenge. I can't. There's something. I've always thought anyone who could. I might have said this before, but I stand by it. Anyone who can knock a nail into a teddy bear's face could do it to a human being. There's something, you know, it's our kindness to humanoids, to inanimate humanoids, I think reflects how we treat
humanoids.
people.
It's gone a bit Doctor Who again.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I've got a Doctor Who thing. I'll tell you
Okay.
after. But no, I was shocked by it. This is absolutely true. I've still got a teddy bear from my childhood, Little Ted.
I'll be in a right state now.
Yeah, he's balding. Well,
Aw.
he belonged to our Nora originally. So, you know. He's getting on. Anyway, and he's on my bookcase in the living room.
Oh,
And he was on the third shelf up, and I moved him recently to the fifth shelf because I thought he's not going to see much from there.
oh,
did you?
fine.
And I still think I know
Yeah.
that if I opened him up, there'd be sawdust, but I can't. Anyone who
Also, you want to keep him on side. He's seen some sights with our keys. Oh,
well, so yeah, I didn't like. I wasn't happy with
No.
the decapitation of the rabbit. But then we had what I can only call a Terry Wogan moment, which is basically when the winner was announced. They said Cindy instead of Scooch, if you know what I'm saying.
oh,
Do you remember when the song for
Yes,
Eurovision, and he said it was
yes.
Cindy that had won, and in fact it was Scooch.
yeah. I do. I totally
don't
remember
remember
And
that.
Cindy was absolutely, you know, punching the air with delight, and then he said, "Oh no, sorry, it isn't you, it's Scooch." Well, that's what happened at the end of the Bake Off. That it was given to the apple pie, turned out to be the cookies.
Oh, Frank.
Well, there was tears before bedtime. That's all I'm saying. There's no fault of mine,
No.
No.
but it was.
Well,
it was
that'll
awful.
serve them right for dealing with carbs. That's what will happen. I'm afraid.
Yeah, and I once baked. I only ever baked once in my life. I made lemon meringue pie.
Mhm.
I made lemon meringue pie and 2 loaves of bread the same afternoon. All 3 items utterly perfect. I mean, brilliant.
Wow.
I used wholemeal pastry for the lemon meringue pie. Still brilliant. And I've never baked since. Because, you know, when you do it and it's right, you think, don't do it again, you'll spoil it.
Really?
Yeah. If only Mike Myers listen to that advice.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Frank, we were talking about baking. Specifically, your judging experience.
Talking about the love between us all. It's not email corner,
No.
but I just needed a bit of
messages
sitar.
No.
When you need a bit of sitar, you got to improvise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Text, carry on.
Okay, so we've had a text in. This is from 540. Rebaking. Do you remember take and bake? Baking your own
Gotta
bread.
take and bake. You gotta take and bake.
No.
Put it on the floor and. Yeah, I do. It was like
baking
white,
your own
very
bread.
white.
It says where you basically just warmed up already baked bread.
It
It
was
does
terrible.
sound
That.
quite 70s, though, doesn't it? There was a lot of products that had "and" in there: take and bake, shake and vac, salt and shake, wasn't there?
You're right, salt and vinegar.
So, cheese and onions. We could
Yeah.
do this for a while, couldn't
Yeah. Smoky and bacon.
we? Smokey and the Bandit, yeah.
Smoking them.
Cannon and ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Marx and Engels.
Marx and Engels.
So, yeah, it was very white, take and bake. It's like a horrible white, clammy, doughy, half-cooked piece of ghost bread when you add it. So it
Oh,
looked...
I love
Other
it. I
than
love
that,
it.
you loved it, yeah?
You know,
And
when
Casper
the
treats.
Pillsbury Doughboy emerges in Ghostbusters towards the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
White, clammy, looks clammy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember it well, Frank.
Pillsbury Doughboy and Pete Doherty got that same sort of white, clammy... And it looked like that, and you put it in, and it turned into a beautiful, fresh, warm loaf. Put the butter on it, melt into it.
Sounds
Much,
good.
much better than that terrible home-baked stuff.
Yeah,
The
like
real
you know,
stuff.
you know a lot about bread.
Well, I obviously love baking.
Yes.
No, I don't. I'd rather drink cyanide. I do no baking
I was gonna
whatsoever.
say cider then. I'd rather drink cider.
There was a period I'd rather drink cider.
It's a
We
bit-
used to have a saying: "It's only gluttons that eat and drink." So we'd just drink.
I should say eating's cheating. I tell you another thing I don't like about cakes. I mean, I do love cakes, but
Eating's cheating.
what I would say is I find that I don't like the fact that they need to be disguised with icing. Do you know what I mean? That's something inherently wrong with that food, that you can't eat it on its own.
Yeah.
Why are you hiding behind the icing?
This
You're obviously not that nice.
takes me onto the subject of cosmetics.
Yeah.
But it's the same principle. You have strong feelings about that, and yet you'll eat a cake.
Well, can I say I'll never eat another cake? Once you've done a bake-off, Sue Perkins told me that she had to allow, because she does the Great British Bake Off,
She does.
she has to allow that she'll gain between a stone and a stone and a half in the course of a series, and then she has to
Oh,
work it off
God.
after.
Wow.
That's a big price to pay.
Yeah. That's tricky.
That's, I mean, actually, Emily's fainted. Can someone get a medic?
I didn't know Lady Gaga had been presenting that. Frank, I'd like...
I like her better a bit. She looks
I
a bit.
do.
She looks a bit.
She looks great.
Her bomb now looks a bit like a take and bake loaf when it first comes out.
Is this Gaga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I like a bit of extra.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I'd like to talk about something else now. I'd like to
Okay.
You
take
don't want
us...
to talk about baking all day.
No.
You
It's
rock and
probably for
roll
the
this,
best.
eh?
I'd like to take us out of the
We've already
kitchen
lost 4 listeners.
and into the political arena.
Okay, if you
Oh.
can't stand the heat.
Oh!
Hey,
I hope you said that a bit on
Don't.
the baking day.
I didn't.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
I didn't.
Is that why Bucks Fizz had that song? Because they had Cheryl Baker?
I mainly, I mainly said. So, well, I'll tell you what. Should we come back and do it, and then because
Okay. I want to talk about David Cameron.
Okay, I'm with you.
Frank
Skinner,
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Now then, David Cameron, you say?
He's done a bit of a bad murder.
He's what?
Well, he disgraced
If anyone's-
That
Just
would be
tuned
a
in.
story.
Well, that would be a big story, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
Depends, I suppose, who he'd murdered. He could probably cover up a lot of people. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure someone high profile could never do that. He's disgraced himself, Frank. He's gone and disgraced himself a little bit.
Is this about the cuts?
No, he was on Letterman.
Yes, I saw that on Letterman.
Did you see it? He looked a bit orcs when he came on. Because I always think a politician out of context, it's a bit Coral out of the sea, isn't it?
But he did have a tie on, which is a blessing. I thought
This is true.
I thought he might go casual. I hate it when he does that.
Oh, I don't like that either. What, a Bermuda short and a trainer? That would have been
Tell you
awful.
what, there's a lot of pictures of him running and cycling, Cameron. He does a lot of running, it would
does.
appear.
But he always looks like he's just shaved as well. I mean, that minute. You know, that sort of pink, slightly swollen. Whereas he looks, if you take him and, what is a prune? Did it used to be a plum?
I think a prune was a plum, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone's making eye contact with a sort of, nobody's
Yeah, I
sure
think a
enough
prune.
on this, are they?
Someone will tell us.
No
but-
one's certain. Oh,
But
they
that's
will.
it.
They
With
really will.
him and Letterman look like the before and after in the plum prune process. Because David is very shiny and swollen and
He is.
big-faced, whereas David Letterman is,
Yeah, time is telling, isn't it?
yeah.
Calmer face.
I love his fabulous grumpiness. I went to see it recorded live once, the David Letterman show, and it was when the clocks go back or forward, or go forward an hour. And he said, I'll be honest, we've got a lousy bill tonight. This is before the show started.
Oh, you weren't on, were you?
He said, no. He said, I still couldn't get on. I think Johnny Depp had pulled out or something, and because he was nervous, and he said he was nervous. He shouldn't be in this kind of work. He said, but anyway, he said, "Do you remember that hour you lost at the weekend? You're about to lose another one." It was fabulous. So anyway, so
anyway, I think DC got a little stitched up by Letterman, though. Did you see this? Because he started grilling him
yeah, he did a
on
quiz,
British
didn't he?
history. So firstly, he asked him a few sort of questions, and he asked him about the Magna Carta. He said, when was it signed? And he got the date 1215, which obviously we're all very familiar with here.
Yeah.
Absolute Radio.
That's why, isn't it?
That's what
why.
it's named after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was originally
Yes.
going to be Absolute Magna Carta Radio, and then they thought it's a bit clunky for the business cards. And
Well, the
purple.
8 comes from the amount of letters in King John. And then 1215. Yeah, the whole thing is to celebrate the beginnings, the seeds of democracy in this country. Did you not know that?
There will be people nodding at their radio.
I love the idea that that's going to go on Wikipedia now.
Hence the double arrowhead on our logo.
Wow. Oh,
good.
what does that mean? What, you can scroll through the Magna Carta quickly?
Well, it was suggesting.
Fast forward.
It suggests that the lower orders and the upper orders, rather than being opposed, are now going in the same direction. Did you not know this?
No, I didn't, because it's not true.
You need to check the website.
So he didn't know. So then Letterman.
I was impressed that he got the date right, though.
And he got
Yeah.
Runnymede right,
He
where it
did.
was.
I'd have known Runnymede. I wouldn't have known the date. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, I
though-
would have
even
known
though
the
I work
date.
here.
Would you?
Yeah,
And I wouldn't.
that and the Peasants' Revolt.
Even though you work here.
I thought Magna Carta was Latin for chock ice wagon.
He could have worked it out,
Hold on,
though.
can we just have a moment where
Okay.
people work that out at home?
No, I get that, Frank.
Magnum. Carta. Magnum.
They've got it.
Okay.
I think got it.
I think you could have worked it out anyway, even if you didn't have a basic grasp of Latin.
Yeah,
What's
but
wr-
it's like the gold run, isn't it? It's all right sitting at home doing
Yeah.
it, but when you're up there, it's quite anxiety making.
I would imagine so. And obviously, he's in the wings thinking, I've got to go on here.
He wasn't in Wings, was he?
I mean, in the wings,
That was
he was waiting to go on, and Cameron's thing is not thinking, I need to have mugged up on my British history here. What he's thinking is, I need to go on this show and seem human and normal. So he's sort of got to get it into his head that this is me going, I've got to be kind of chatty and avuncular and normal, and then suddenly it's like, oh no, I need to be the real me. I'm sure he knows Magna Carta.
No, I think you'll find what he was doing in the Wings was not going to the toilet.
Oh yeah,
That's what he
the-
does to help himself focus. He
right.
waits
Filth-
till he's
filthy
desperate.
creep.
Likes a full bladder. Likes a full
You wait
bladder.
till he's absolutely bursting before he does anything. I mean, really, like like it's hurting.
Yeah,
He does that apparently.
Oh.
Come back to this. I
I think
think I'm going to have to go to the toilet.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Frank, we were talking about DC on DL.
Yes. If only David Cameron had some questions about American history, he could have fired back.
Frank, that's exactly what he should have done.
But then I suppose Letterman would have pointed out that he's just a chat show host, whereas Cameron's a Prime Minister, so he doesn't...
Yeah, but he could have said he could have said similar things, couldn't he? Who wrote the Star Spangled Banner? Bet he wouldn't know that answer.
Yeah, because Letterman would have gone postal. You get me?
Yeah.
See, Letterman.
Oh!
Yeah.
I love it!
Thanks, I'll write that down. It might work in my tour.
Are you going to add the Magnum Wagon thing to that as well?
No, I'm doing a tour
Okay.
called The Worst Jokes I've Ever Heard. There's a lot of people done that too, but they haven't called it that.
No.
What he should have done, what he forgot, there's a bit, when he started, he did like quite a serious bit about, he talked about Syria and all that, and
Yeah.
it was quite heavy for a chat show.
It was.
Yeah.
And what he
Keep
should
it light, Dave.
What he should have done in order to win him over easy, that he's a laugh a minute guy. The Benny Hill is still massive in America. They love Benny Hill. And when he mentioned President Assad, instead of just getting all serious and that, he should have called him a Syria idiot. Right?
I don't know what that is, but it sounds like it's a bit racist.
Remember,
The accent.
Remember he used to say Syria idiot? So then he could say it's Syria idiot. I think that would have brought the house down, and it would have been the headline, and then that would have stopped with President Assad, that nickname. It probably brought down his regime. And it would have been a Benny Hill-fuelled Arab Spring. But anyway, the moment's gone now, so,
He should have done more jokes, Frank.
Definitely.
Should have.
And less knowledge.
And he told some lies as well, which is...
What lies did he tell?
Well, he says that, he was in America and someone called out, "Oh, Prime Minister's questions, we love your show."
He tried to do an American accent and it wasn't
But
good.
whenever a celebrity tells a story of something someone's calling out, it's usually a lie.
You think?
They've thought it'd be good. It'd make me look good, wouldn't it, if somebody called this out? So I'll just say somebody called this out. That's what they do.
I like that of all the things David Cameron might have lied about, that's the one that winds you up.
That's definitely. What they would have said is, "Where's Clegg?" Because that's what people always do when they shout at a celebrity. They always want to know where another celebrity is.
Oh, you're right, Frank.
I still get "Where's Dave?"
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
But everyone I've spoken to, they always get asked about another celebrity they've worked with at some time. It's like people are putting together a paper chain of celebrity whereabouts. Yeah, you see. What do they shout at you, Al?
Me? No, they don't.
Don't they?
Usually, who are you? What are you doing in this train carriage? That sort of thing, Nobody really... I haven't worked with anybody high profile that they would join me with.
I get, where's the Premier League player? It happens,
Where's the Premier League player?
It's good that they don't name one. It's like a sort of fill-in on the dotted line.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Hold, before we go any further. Sorry, is this going to be about an email?
No, I was going to say, I was wondering if you'd like to hit your email corner button. I know you love it.
I'm doing it. Email corner. See, I sang along then, so what we had was a bit of Kylie Minogue-style double tracking.
Yeah. It's very impressive.
I might go at some point. I might not.
So here's the email. Dearest Frank... Well, here's one of the email, the many that we get in Absolute...
Don't build us up.
Absolute Magna Carta. Dearest Frank, Emily, Allen... Your recent reference to Ian Lavender made me remember how, as a boy, I used to think that the end credits of Dad's Army, brackets you have been watching, ... was in fact a fun mini-quiz, i.e. you have been watching. As the names of the cast came up, I would call out yes if I'd seen them in the episodes. As I recall, I used to do the same thing for Heidi High, never being corrected by my older siblings or parents. And now I like this as well. Cheers for that. Regards, 716.
Oh, I love 716.
Good
but
for
they
him.
might not have known what he was doing. They might have thought it was just elation. Yes! John Le Mesurier, yes! Oh, Arnold Ridley's looking a bit bewildered. I like the idea of watching the end credits of Dad's Army with a checklist. Brilliant. IDI. We used to have a IDI joke.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
How dare you? Sue Pollard was married to my gay godfather's boyfriend.
Is that right? Well, I love that story.
Yeah.
And I've given the punchline away now, but it means you can still use it down the pub now, because it's topical in the extreme. If anyone's doing some topical jokes, this is your chance to spin things round to the least topical joke. Actually, we have done the Magna Carta.
Exactly.
And it was, how does Idi Amin spell his first name? Heidi, hi! I'm glad we got the first hour out the way. It hasn't been one of my best.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Now,
Do you think at the start of hours we ought to change it to this is Absolute Magna Carta Radio?
well, I don't know if I should have given away the code.
Oh, okay.
I feel I might have done it wrong.
Dan Brown or something.
Yeah. I mean, it might be that the Absolute Radio itself is in the power of the barons.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Not Dan Brown, Mick Brown. No, he was a great
No, the
DJ.
barons.
Oh.
Like, King John was forced by the barons to do that. They were a good band, but pushy. So, what else in the news?
Well, there's been another royal mishap this week.
Can I say I read this? I didn't quite get it.
Okay, let me explain. So,
Please do.
essentially, Kate Middleton and Wills, they're on a royal...
Let's use the informal titles.
They're on a royal tour.
They feel like friends.
I think so. They're almost friends of the show. They are on a royal tour.
They're on a tour?
Solomon Islands, I believe.
They're on tour.
They're on tour.
Tickets are available.
They're not doing Hull tomorrow night, are they? I could give them a lift back if they're heading to Manchester. Anyway.
Yeah, my wife. Now, Kate stepped out. Apparently, we should say at this point, their clothes had been left out for them. Just plant that little seed.
They'd been laid out, just like you know, my clothes man on the bedroom chair. They were like that. Their clothes were laid out,
along with other gifts, including soap and chocolate. There you go.
See, again, another mistake could have easily been made there.
What?
Yeah.
They could have come out foaming at the mouth. Yes.
Anyway, the mistake happened when Kate stepped out wearing what I would describe as a rather fetching fuchsia tiered strapless maxi.
That's exactly how I described it. Great mind.
Eyesore is how I would have described it.
Oh, I liked it.
thought it was busy. I thought it was busy.
No, it was busy,
Thought it was
but
busy.
her face isn't, and that was the combo.
It's not eyesore, it's Esau. It's pronounced as well.
Was it?
I did a biblical
Is that
joke.
right?
No, I just did a biblical
well,
joke.
that's excellent. Put that in the trailer. Yeah, Absolute Bible, the new station. Carry on.
Absolute King John.
Anyway, but it turned out...
Absolute King James version.
It turned out that she was wearing a print from the Cook Islands, and they were in the Solomon Islands.
Yes,
Apparently this was a huge faux pas.
That's what I don't understand. I mean, I think we all know about that fierce rivalry between the Cook Islands and the Solomon Islands.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a Celtic Rangers job.
Isn't it just? Yeah.
No, I mean, what's their problem with it? It was a dress, and William wore a shirt as well, didn't he? He should have worn a green shirt from the Solomon
And
Islands.
he wore blue.
He wore blue
Blue-green.
from the Cook Islands, but
Yeah.
what's the difference? Why is that a faux pas?
Well, I think politically, perhaps, she should have worn... it's a bit like if you come to this country, the done thing is you wear a British designer like McQueen or something like
Is that
that.
right? Even if you're not from here.
I noticed Michelle Obama doesn't do it. She sticks to the Americans. But yeah, Kate always does it when she goes abroad. What I would say, Frank, I thought William's shirt was a bit the hangover. It was a bit boys on stag night, that Hawaiian...
Well, that's exactly it, surely. It doesn't matter if it's Solomon or Cook Islands. Everybody in the world that isn't from the Solomon or the Cook Islands is going, oh, he's got a Hawaiian shirt on.
Exactly.
So he may as well have worn a Hawaiian one.
It's their own fault. They need to get a bit of variety in their casual wear, the South Pacific
perhaps a badge.
Island.
Perhaps a
It's
country-style
always
badge.
it's always a pineapple or a palm tree, isn't it? And spread out. What about a nice vintage car?
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
But then people would be thinking it was Cuba or something,
No, but it's just so they can say, look, we're not just about pina colada. We've got more depth than that. What about bringing back Fido Dido? I'd be happy. I used to have. I had a pencil case. It was a work of art, in my opinion.
Fido Dido.
Do you remember Fido?
I know exactly who Fido Dido
Okay,
was.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
I've got a look of him.
You've got
I've got a look of Fido Dido.
a look.
Yeah, gangly. Sort of.
Oh, you've got a. When you said you've
Pencil
got a
sketch.
look of him, I thought you managed to capture some sort of abstract concept, which you keep pressed between the pages of a large book.
No.
I've got a look of him. What is this? Round Your Way with Brian Johnston.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Now, one of us has been travelling around.
I mean, normally it's the M62 for me, isn't it? I'm
Yeah.
usually doing, Hull or wherever. But I'm just back from Tokyo, guys. Yeah, just back from Tokyo.
Amazing.
Just landed yesterday afternoon. Got my head down and came in.
Very jealous there.
It was good. It was good though.
Got your head down and came in. What did
I had
you
to sleep.
You ran like a bullet up the hard shoulder.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's weird though. It was very different, and it's one of those.
You know why, do you?
I like to go travelling and
Tell you
come
what,
back and
it's somewhere else.
I really state the obvious way.
It's foreign.
But actually, what I'm trying to say is that
Did
quite
you
a
eat
lot
any
of
of the
travel
foreign
now.
muck?
Oh, I ate some of that. Yeah, but what I find now is that the more places you go, the more often they're a bit similar to home, and then you go to somewhere that's very different, like Tokyo. Although it's a lot like Coventry, isn't it? A lot of concrete. They
but
love a bit of
I like
concrete
a bit
in
of
Japan.
Makes me feel, you know, Britain used to be like that. You go somewhere different and it was different.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
But
it's,
it's
you know,
increasing
Clinton
globalisation.
It's always Clinton cards.
A lot of shops in Tokyo, aren't there? I thought it was a bit like a hot Brent Cross when I went. You can buy lots of things.
Hot Brent Cross, is that what people eat on Good Friday?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Very weird though. They love gadgets. They love gadgetry.
I love gadgets.
3 words that are not meant to chill you, but I found them quite chilling. Heated toilet seats.
Oh, I've
Did not enjoy.
Yeah, I
Did
do
not.
my own.
Yeah, did not enjoy
Oh, you mean
that.
when you sit on them?
Ah.
Yes, no, I tried that over there. And also,
Oh.
did you use the jets?
I never used the jets.
I
I've
use
learned my lesson in the past. I don't like the jets.
No,
it's not
I-
for me.
Oh, I love a jet.
It's
Yeah.
not for me.
I
Love
use
a
the
jet.
jets. I'll get 5 on the spot. Oh, it's like a Jean-Michel Jarre when I go to the toilet in Japan.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And a very weird. We had a very weird taxi journey. Me and
Oh,
the
yeah.
other comics. We were out and about. We only
You,
really
you were
got
out there
one.
doing
after-
stand-up for
yeah,
the Japanese.
yeah. I met some fans of the show as well. I'll
Did
tell
you?
you about them in a moment. But before that, me and the
Okay,
other
hold on.
comics,
Hold
we were
on,
all.
Where's my bookmark?
We were all parents, and
Yeah.
we said, right, we've only got one afternoon in Tokyo, really. Let's go and get some gifts for the kids. And
It's a day trip to Tokyo.
No, it wasn't a day trip, but by the time we'd done the first gig, and basically we only had one free day, and so we got ourselves down to the crossing. You know that crossing where everything just shuts down and the
Yeah,
people
big,
take
big
over the
scramble
streets.
crossing.
Great.
I love it. There's one of those. You know, there's one of those on Oxford Street.
I've seen
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You don't have to go to India to eat good Indian food.
I know.
Go to the Bengal Tiger, only 30 yards from the cinema.
Anyway, we jumped in a taxi to try and buy our family's gifts, and we said to the taxi driver, we want to go to Kiddieland, and he started saying, Kiddieland, Kiddieland.
Hold it. Whoa.
We thought-
Where's the absolute manual?
We thought he was a big fan of K.D. Lang for about 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And then, weird moment.
It says here borderline.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah.
Weird moment. He, Justin gave him his phone to show him the shop.
Justin
on
Bieber,
one of
he
the
was
other
also
comics.
joined.
One of the other comics.
One of the comics, Justin?
held out his
Surely he had other business this week.
held. What's it? What you want to find?
Now carry on.
Held out his map for where the shop was.
Yeah.
And this fella, the taxi driver, who's in charge of a vehicle,
I'm tense now. The voice is coming up again.
gets out a giant magnifying glass to look at the map because his eyesight's so bad he can't see something that's in his own hand.
Well, maybe he's long-sighted though. You'll be all right.
And then he was looking at the meter through a huge magnifying glass and then driving a car. Is
That's worrying.
that meant to give you a confidence in the man's ability?
Did he have a prescription windscreen?
He didn't know. And we didn't know the Japanese for are you long-sighted or short-sighted. We were having enough trouble with English.
Yes.
But yeah, scary moment. Turned out it was all right. There was an ant on the meter and he was just burning it using the sun.
Oh, he was doing
No
that.
problem. No problem there.
They are.
Panic averted.
Oh, blimey. Is that what he did? He burnt an ant?
No.
No.
Did you say that?
Yeah, I thought, God, it's Tenko all over again.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So after the gigs that I was saying I'd done in Tokyo, chatting to the audience, and a surprising number of them said, "Oh, we listened to you on the Frank Skinner Show on Absolute, Magna Carta." They knew the full name even then, and big fans of the show.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
What,
yeah.
in Tokyo?
In Tokyo, honestly, when we
I'll
get-
retract my earlier comments about the country.
when we pull our finger out and do a global tour, it's going to be massive. I'm telling you, Vancouver, Tokyo, Australia, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm not going. I can't cope with that tropical shirt angst.
yeah. Well, that was a problem. I went down in a dressing gown.
That's lovely that we have...
Yeah.
Well, I met
Can I just sing the 1964 Japan Olympics theme tune, just for them? Good morning, Tokyo. Nice to be seeing you. There you go.
That was lovely.
That was it. It was like
Very
a choral female. I think of it as female singers. Lovely.
So I was standing at the bar having a chat after the first gig. Met a chap who was saying how much he loved the show.
I tell you, were we allowed... I'm a bit uneasy about this, how much everyone loves this show.
Honestly,
News.
but he then handed me his business card and said
They love a business card. don't
Yeah.
they?
he's the managing director of some executive company
Better not
in
read it
Tokyo.
out. Yeah.
And he said, if Emily's ever in Tokyo,
Well,
Oh,
he gave me his card
I
on a
don't-
person-to-person night's move.
fabulous.
that's the first person to person.
And then he added, although I am happily married with 2 children, so
They
it
all
could
are.
ruin everything.
Filthy creep.
in keeping with the other night's moves we've had. He's got a lot to lose,
Well, look, don't shoot Melinda Messenger.
as they used to say.
That's my message to the
No,
listeners.
that's what
There'll be
the
a few who's been thinking about it, but don't do it. Somebody might have done, actually. Where is
He's a
she?
messenger, yeah.
Gone.
that's what picture desks actually say on newspapers now.
What?
Don't shoot Melinda.
Gone, and never called me mother.
Well,
So-
I was going to say hand me those details, but I'll have no part of them, Frank. I don't want to break up a
No,
happy
no,
marriage.
they don't do that.
I do, but not that one. It's another story.
When I went to Japan, I was in this hotel, and they said the great advertising thing about this hotel was view of Mount Fuji.
Oh, really?
So I was very excited about that. So I went there, and he wasn't there.
No.
You couldn't see it from my window.
Oh.
So I said to the man on the desk, I said, I thought I'd got a Mount Fuji facing window. He said they all do. They all face it here. I said, no, mine doesn't. He said, yeah, it does. So I said,
Extraordinary argument.
yeah. Yeah, well, so I went back up, no sign of Mount Fuji. Apparently it was shrouded in mist.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And the mist is so thick, there's not even a vague outline. It was like
Yeah.
a David Copperfield.
Like a Joan Collins photograph.
Yeah, exactly. And would you believe it? Exactly the same thing happened to me with the Shard the other day, because I can see the Shard from my window. Got up the other morning, gone.
Wow.
Completely gone. Apparently, Peter Crouch has the same thing with his feet.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Frank, I've been ticked off for overusing your name, apparently. I don't know what I meant to call you.
F, the big F.
Overusing
F
my
dog.
Apologies for that.
Okay, yeah, done.
Someone's asked me if I get a quid for each time she says the word Frank. Obviously hasn't met my agent. Stakes are a bit higher than that, round my way.
The business cards thing you
Oh,
heard
yeah,
about
yeah,
in
they-
Japan.
I was handed, I think, 7 in the time I was there.
You see, I don't normally get business cards. I went to Japan. Also, the etiquette thing is that you have to really scrutinise them.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can't
is
just
that?
get it and put it in your
And
pocket.
Frank,
Uh-oh.
you know about the holding it with both thumbs as well.
Yeah.
You just can't hold it with one hand. That's
And
the
you have
height
to-
of rudeness. Yeah, you have to look at. That's right.
Uh-oh.
Over
You
to
have to really read everything on it like
Oh.
it's the most interesting thing you've ever read.
Well, some of this is in Japanese. I can't be doing that.
Well, that's tricky. That's why you need the magnifying glass.
But if Anthony is listening, I've got it in both hands. I've got it in both hands right now. You know the guy that did the
What's
Knights
that,
movie?
an arthritis announcement? No, I once went to a restaurant with a Japanese bloke in England. He spent 2.5 hours at that goldfish bowl by the till. You know where you put your business card to win a bottle of wine? Oh, it was like putting them in the British Library. He loved it. I haven't been abroad for ages. I go on holiday now to the Cotswolds.
Oh.
We're into the staycation now. Life's changed a bit, Frank.
It has a bit.
Leave the far-flung travel to me. I'm not a big fan of Tokyo. I know it's very fashionable to say, I love Japan, it's amazing, oh my god, I love it. I don't, I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
You got to forgive and forget, that's what it's all about.
I like the Japanese, don't like the country. It's too much consumerism, I find it really depressing. And it's just a temple to... No, on that scale, I like a bit of light and shade. That's not all I'm about.
I know that, but
I might like
surprised.
a bit of fashion. I also might like to read a bit of Alan Bennett. You don't get that in Japan. Shop after shop, gadget after gadget.
You can get Alan Bennett, but in an anime cartoon thing. It's much easier.
Sorry, that's my rant, but I believe that, Frank.
You can get an Aaron bonnet. I bought one in Edinburgh this year.
Oh, God.
Aaron Bonnet.
He plays for Arsenal, doesn't he?
Anyway.
What were you going to say? You were about to say something and then you stopped and you thought better of it.
I did, yes. Can I say I love Japan?
Okay.
But this was the most serious thing that's ever happened on this show, wasn't it? That conversation about Japan.
Good. I liked it.
You not liking it? I think it's a fabulous... it's like a labyrinth of discovery.
Oh.
Email What have we got?
Wow.
Go to email corner.
What do you want to go for? We've got... I'll give you the runners and riders. Well, firstly, I'll tell you what I like. I like from Marcus Borg. He says, Frank, I see that Spurs' new goalkeeper, Hugo Lloris, has lost some weight. You could say that he is a slender Lloris. Take care, my good man.
Oh, my good man.
My good man.
Now,
It's one a bit Jackson, your butler.
I just wonder, it could be coincidence, but presumably this bloke is a Tottenham Hotspur fan, as he's done the
One would assume.
what's he called? What's it?
Hugo Lloris.
Hugo Lloris.
Now, I remember Martin Jol, when he was the manager of Spurs, in an interview, saying calling the interviewer my man at one point. Yes, thank you, my man. And I wonder if this is...
Wow, if that is the joke he's offering and you've got it, you've made his day there.
But I like
Sounds
a
very
pun challenge of any kind.
Yeah. Slender Lloris is going to be hard to find another one, isn't it?
Well, I think if Hugo Lloris gains weight now, he'll be a Fiat Hugo.
Oh.
Fiat Hugo.
Fiat Hugo.
That's lovely.
Yeah. I feel dirty, I don't know why. Probably like I need to scrub myself down. What else? We're in the corner.
Yeah, we are.
Until I'm in the corner, I'm holding up both arms like footballers did just before they take a corner.
Excellent. Frank and the gang. Gang, I'm not sure how we feel about that.
Oh, come on.
I've been listening to some old podcasts, and having lived away from Birmingham for more years than I'm prepared to mention, I really enjoy hearing a bit of Midland dialect. I wondered if Frank was the kind of Brummie to say her in the place of she.
Oh.
I really enjoy Frank's impressions, so I was hoping he could give us a blast of the Black Country, her, especially if the impression comes out a bit shouty and unhinged. Steve, a Birmingham, as Emily might say.
Yeah, I always think me doing jokes that you only get if you live in a tiny area. It's like sort of Brechtian alienation technique. Just in case there's anyone left who's enjoying this show, I'll finish them off forever. But having said that, we did used to say her instead of she.
Oh, did you?
So you say,
how does it work then?
"Oh, her ain't coming round here, is her?" That's what we'd say.
Really?
Oh,
She
really?
isn't coming round here, is she?
That's peculiar.
Or the way he wants it. "Oh, I ain't coming around here, is it?" Yeah. If the Beatles had been from
That's
the Black
not
Country, the song would have gone. Loves. Loves you. Loves you.
I would have preferred that.
Well, I don't think it would have been a hit. Here's one for you. Doris Day. I never said she did. 8 people laughing in a distant part of the
Oh, I
country.
nearly get it. I nearly speak Birmingham, but I don't quite.
So I'm not going to explain it.
I'll work it out. I like the idea of a blast of the Black Country. That could be your next book, Frank.
That could be, because there was a local paper, it might still exist, called the Black Country Bugle, so that would be perfect for a blast of the Black Country.
Oh, lovely.
How was about that then? Oh, actually, can't do that anymore, apparently.
No, let's stay away from him. Have we got time for another email, Frank?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I can read it out because it's too self-referential.
Okay, well, luckily we have another person with us.
Why do you think it's too self-referential?
okay.
They don't want to hear the admin.
Okay. Dear Frank, I was so disappointed by Emily and Alan in the last show. Is that what you mean?
Let's read it. No.
Is that the self-referential
No.
bit? Because,
this
you know,
is-
I'm in that
This
as well.
is the most embarrassing. And I know, and I hosted the Brits. And this feels worse.
Anyway,
At least I haven't got a Union Jack
I'll
shirt on.
continue. I'll continue. I was so disappointed by Emily and Alan in the last show.
Well, you should try listening to this show.
I know you don't like advertising your other work on the show. We've got the same rule about my tour in Hull tomorrow night, haven't we? We don't like advertising your work on the show. But when you were talking about toenails last week, and you said that you talked about the same subject on another show, my face started to smile. I thought, I know what Emily or Alan will say now. They'll say, oh, don't start. But the smile aborted and I felt a deep sadness on your behalf. But don't worry, Frank, there are people out here that really appreciate your work.
Yeah, that's told you lot.
But actually, I remember that moment, and when you said we talked about this on another show, I thought we had talked about
I wasn't
toenails.
trying to plug.
No, I thought we'd talked about toenails on this show, on
Yeah,
another show.
Yeah, sure
That
you
was-
did. You just didn't want to give me a break. That's all. That's what it's like. Yeah. Anyway, I don't.
Frank Skinner's Don't Start
Thank
will
you.
be available on iPlayer.
Thank you for noticing. The last time I plugged, I've only ever done it once on this show, and I plugged out the first series of Don't Start. And afterwards,
You
I
hated
felt,
it, didn't you?
Oh, I had to use some Corsadil mouthwash when I
Yeah.
got in.
I
I
saw
feel
you
the same
scrubbing.
about the toe plug I just did. I feel exactly
It
the
is,
same
it's
about
disgusting.
it. It's horrible.
Stop it, that's that.
horrible.
I feel like
Ooh,
remember
I
when
feel awful.
Pontius Pilate had to wash his hands over and over because he felt unclean. Did you know
Tickets still available.
that? Yeah.
I feel exactly the same.
Stop it.
Tickets still available.
Pontius Pilates, as they call him. That's what they call him now.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Obsolete.
Obsolete Radio. Is that what's going to happen when it closes down? Oh, no. On Obsolete Radio, and you can text us on 81215 or follow us on Twitter at Frank on Absolute.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
Do you want some sort of payment for every time you say Frank?
I think it's time for Fashion Corner. Now, we've established there isn't really a jingle for this, is there? You played one last week, which was wholly inappropriate.
Let me have another look, see what we got. Might be able to find some. Well, I had the French music from
Oh, that was good.
Fashion Corner.
Yeah.
Retail in general.
Yeah, that'll do.
Hold it while we're here. Fabulous.
So, there's this week, actually it's been in the last kind of fortnight, there's been a lot of talk about these results of a wardrobe survey. Now, I know this won't interest you two very much, but a wardrobe survey is my favourite thing ever.
Never assume.
No,
So the results show that a lot of women are secretly getting rid of their partner's clothes because they don't like them.
hold on.
This is true. They're calling it the
That's
Victoria Beckham effect.
That's theft, though, isn't it?
Well, I'm sorry, but if you will dress like that. Not in your case, Frank. We've
No.
already established things have picked up a lot in the last 2 years. I don't think Kath has any cause for complaint, to be honest.
You got to. I never dress quite as good as I could do,
Right.
and the reason is that my entire wardrobe, more or less, is free. It's things that when you say if you host Have I Got News For You, you get to keep the suit.
Right.
Right, they give you a suit and you get to keep it.
Yeah.
So it might not be quite the suit I would have bought if I'd gone out, but it's free.
So you basically always look like you're about to pop onto a panel show.
Yeah. So So that's what you end up doing. So you're on a show and they say, "Oh, you can keep that jumper if you like." You think, "Well, I'd never have bought that in a million years. Doesn't suit me." But free.
It's free.
Yeah. So I've got, I have a sort of nearly wardrobe.
Oh, do you?
But I have to say, Kath
You've got
is-
those hoodies, though. You don't wear those so much
I
anymore.
did go and buy. Well, no, they're coming back now as the weather.
I was
yeah.
going to say, do you ever fancy just buying yourself an item? You know, old school.
Yeah, but I have to get slim before I'm going to buy myself anything, and I've been saying that for 4 years.
Oh, really?
Oh, you sound so like a woman.
I think you are slim, yeah.
Yeah, no,
love
but
it.
I've got. Look at this.
Yeah. It's not great radio, is it? But
No. Well, no, but at least it's legal this way. If that had been on telly, the whole thing would have been closed down now, and there'd have been martial music playing.
what
Does
annoys me
Madame
about...
Cockerell ever tamper with your wardrobe?
No, but she was particularly unkind to me recently when I was showing her a tracksuit top, and she used a word that I do not approve of, but she said it. She said it, and I'm prepared to repeat it on the radio. She said to me, "You are a fan of a chavvy tracksuit top, aren't you?" Horrible.
Yeah.
But, in fairness, I am probably one of those... I'm probably one of the few people that sees the band Goldie Looking Chain and thinks, I'd wear that. So, you know...
Yeah, well, that's... funnily enough, I have... it's not exactly tracksuit top, but I've got this sort of... You might remember it. It's a sort of orange Fred Perry top.
Remember it?
Do you know it?
It's seared onto my retinas.
Yeah. I used to wear it, and... Kath just very openly says, "I hate that top. It just looks terrible.
It's a bit Dutch, isn't it?
It's not made for a person with no shoulders."
She does not say that.
Maybe I've added that.
Should have added some shoulder
she's
pads.
really down on it. And I just can't wear it now in her company. That's what it's come down to. She doesn't like the Fred Perry at all. I think she feels that he very much stole the limelight from Bonnie Austin. She's never forgiven him. Yeah. But yeah, I hate it because I think, nobody tells me. I don't tell you what to wear. Well, sometimes, obviously, but that's...
That's good we never dated, Frank,
Yeah, exactly.
I think, isn't it?
Sometimes I beg her to wear stuff. But,
Oh, God.
but,
There's things I won't tolerate, though, Frank. Zero tolerance includes, the list includes... Well, this is a few links, actually. Bootcut jean.
Yeah,
Do you understand that?
I've got those, but I only wear them when I'm deep-sea diving.
I hate bootcut jeans, Frank.
Well, I had this conversation with a man the other day wearing bootcut jeans, and he didn't like it. I told him.
Did you?
Yeah, I said I don't like any trouser that billows.
You did not say that.
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
they billow. They're cloud-like at the extremity.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Wardrobe stuff we was talking about. So it doesn't all...
And how I won't tolerate a bootcut jean. It's a bit Grant Bovey. And whilst we're on the Grant Bovey subject, a cowboy boot. Won't tolerate that either on a man.
Well, how often the two go together, of course.
Of course,
Well,
yeah.
exactly.
I have...
Boot-
I've
boot
got...
cut.
Why do you think I won't date Richard Hammond?
I've got... well... how long you got? I've got cowboy boots for my baby.
Oh.
I mean, they were sent. I didn't buy them.
Oh, that's quite cute, actually.
They
Buzz is
are.
allowed to wear them. He's the only
Yeah.
man who's allowed.
Because I think kids, they like to be cowboys.
Different
whereas-
rules
Yeah.
apply. Yeah, different rules apply for children.
Totally.
I can be quite militant about a rogue item in a partner's wardrobe. I dated
Really?
a guy once, and he had a red... It makes me feel ill even thinking about it. I'm sorry. I can't believe he wore it. I can't believe I dated somebody who wore this.
I wonder, what did he
Wow.
have? A red what?
Red what? Yeah.
Well, it was a red bomber jacket in what can only be described as a sort of fuzzy felt fabric.
Ugh.
Huge sort of blouson pockets.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the colour red. It was like, you know those tomato ketchup dispensers in the fast food
Yeah.
Greasy Spoon Cafe?
The best thing about this story is that it doesn't really matter when you dated this man, because that was not a fashionable item at whatever time
Well, you say that.
in our lifetime.
But surely that's what James Dean wears in Rebel Without a Cause, isn't it?
This guy didn't look like James Dean.
No, but that's what he wears. He wears
He
like
looked
a
more
red...
like sort of a young Kenneth Kendall. Google it.
What we used to call a wind cheater.
Yeah.
Well,
Was it not-
Cheetah was right. So he
about
turned up. That was right too.
There you go.
He turned up, Frank, looking like the tomato. Oh, it was awful. Really skinny he was as well. Talk about slender Loris. He couldn't carry that look.
Oh, I'm desperate to know who he is now, but we'll find that
I'll
out.
tell you afterwards.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
assume he's famous. He might be a civilian.
Yeah, well, please don't use that on air.
Okay, sorry.
I like
Sorry. He turned up, and I had to call him on it. I said, I'm really sorry, but I really don't like that jacket. I find it
wouldn't go out with him?
offensive.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't go out the door.
You see, it doesn't seem right. You can be oppressed, but when Kath criticises something I wear, I find myself not wearing it. Because it's poisoned my mind against it. Of course, there are other things. I have to, as you know, I've had to give up on denim because of my age.
Yeah.
I mean, a denim jacket, she'll go mad if I wear a denim jacket.
Oh, really? I would have
give me a
thought you
hard
could
time.
keep the denim jacket,
Oh, I
but
saw him.
not the jeans.
I saw Sir Trevor Nunn on his way to the tube station the other morning. You know Sir Trevor Nunn?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He was double denim.
Does he really,
He
Frank?
was, and you know what I think he started dyeing both the hair and the facials.
Oh, really?
I mean,
Was he
I-
dyeing the facials now?
I have tremendous respect for him as a director, and
Theatre
creative man.
director.
Yeah.
But with the dyed beard and if you can imagine that the status quo lineup was Francis Rossi, Rick Parfitt, Captain Haddock. That's what he looked like. I mean, Shaking. There's a character called Shaking Haddock. I went and saw Shaking Haddock last night. It was great.
We've had a text, it was actually a tweet in from a lady who says, my partner and
How
I
modern.
are arguing about a pair of jeans. He thinks Frank would like them, I don't. That's Fiona in Edinburgh. Oh, we need to know more about the jeans.
It's difficult because I never say to Kath, no, don't wear that.
Oh,
Don't
really?
wear that."
Oh,
No.
I do. I think when my wife gets a
Well, can
new
you not talk
garment,
to my girlfriend like that?
when
Mind your own business.
when my wife gets a new garment that she really likes, she does that thing of wearing it to death because she really loves it. And so after about 2 or 3 months, when it's been worn loads, I'll start saying, are they new jeans that you've got on there? Are they new? I've never seen those before. And mocking the fact that they've been worn daily. Yeah.
If I get an item I like, I'll always wear it to death. Do you know Death? It's that gay club in.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I know we haven't got a button for a music news corner, but we've
should
been
do that.
we've been to fashion corner and email
Yeah.
corner. So here's some music news.
We haven't got many corners left.
Here's some music news,
I think
people.
there's a total of 4. What's the music news?
The Beach Boys. 3 of the Beach Boys' founding members have been dumped by the band's frontman, Mike Love, via a public statement, no less. Not even a private text message or a fax.
The thing is that one of the ones dumped is Brian Wilson.
Exactly.
He was quite a key member,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
you'd say that he was...
There's a picture in the article.
Instrumental.
Of 5
no, he
of
wasn't
them.
instrumental. I think he sang as well.
There's a picture in the article of 5 of them, and it looks like 3 of them have recently been to the Solomon Islands.
Yeah.
The other 2 have not.
Well, they have got the I have given up Hawaiian shirts, men of a certain age.
Absolutely, men of a certain age.
Yeah, but if you're one of the Beach Boys, there is a bit of pressure to wear a short sleeve.
Yeah. Well, the joy of those shirts is that they don't need ironed and they don't need to be cleaned. They could have dinner all down them, and they're just going, I'm in my 70s, it doesn't matter.
They always
Are
used
they
to
in
wear
the
the
70s?
stripes.
Yeah.
They used to wear matching blue and white striped shirts.
Oh,
I know
they're
that's
not-
West
Can I
Bromwich help you.
They're not getting on well enough to be matching their outfits anymore by the looks of
Can
it.
I just say as well, I think boys, I think that ship might have sailed. I think they might need to rethink the name.
But they could do that. The ones who have been sacked could form the Beach Men,
Oh, yeah.
and then that would.
I think it's more the old men of the sea.
Yeah, but
It's a bit more
if they
appropriate.
called themselves the Beach Men, then Mike Love's lot would suddenly become the sort of S Club Juniors.
yeah.
They'd be completely undermined.
Inferior.
Trouble
The
is,
Sandmen? Well, that's sort
Yeah.
of spooky, isn't it?
it's better. That I think there might have been. I think there was a sand.
Probably, yeah.
I think the Beach Men sounds too much like bitumen, doesn't it?
Yes, this is
the
true.
stuff that you make the roofs with. I think Steve Tyler would probably take legal action.
Oh, yeah, he often does. He's very litigious.
Speaking of legal action,
Oh, yeah.
has it not often occurred to you? You know the Beach Boys song "California Girls."
Yes, I do.
You know it begins da 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 da. Do you remember when Men at Work did that Men Come From a Land Down Under?
Oh, yeah.
And they got sued because it was like a
Yes.
traditional song that they'd nicked. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? Surely, that comes from Auntie Mary had a canary up the leg of her drawers. It wouldn't come down for half a crown and won the Victoria Cross. Surely that's the same.
Well, I'm amazed that more people haven't picked up on that.
Yeah,
parody.
exactly.
that old
Smash hit.
I don't know they've got away with it. Well, let me start it now. Now that if he wants trouble, Mike Love, let's give him some trouble. I suggest if the person who wrote Auntie Mary is listening to this,
Yeah.
get onto it.
I think it's safe to say he wants trouble, Frank. Because
yeah,
what I
he's,
do, well, he's got a bit knocked, and one thing I cannot abide and I won't tolerate is old people getting angry.
Really?
It's just undignified. You've had your time for anger. It belongs to the youths.
But yeah, that's what they do as they lose control gradually.
It's
They
like
get older and
tramps or
older.
something. I don't like them arguing. It makes me feel ill.
Do you know I was having this conversation with my girlfriend just the other day?
What?
She doesn't like old people getting angry either. Well, Mike Love has never been. He's always been trouble. He's sued. I mean, no, he's the cousin.
Day one.
He's the cousin of the Wilsons, but he sued that he should get some royalties for the songs. He's just. I don't think
Is
he's.
that right?
You know, he might be called Love,
Right.
but that's not his. Whereas Carol Smiley.
Happy
Yeah.
go lucky, yeah.
What was his autobiography, Frank? He surely went for All You Need Is. He should have, shouldn't he?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Yeah, there ought to be a. I bet some of that. Okay, then that's the texting. What should Mike Love? I bet he's already written one, but he'll have a rubbish, bitter, angry title.
Peace and.
What? Yeah. What should he call his autobiography?
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, earlier on this show,
Do you want some
There's-
sort of
there's
payment
another
every time you
pound.
say Frank?
well, you were rather surreally, you were asking listeners to text in suggested titles for Mike Love's autobiography, Mike Love of Beach Boys fame. Some suggestions have come in. We have Love's a Beach, that's Paul from Croydon.
That's very good.
I think that is good. I like the beach comb overs.
Very good indeed.
Beach comb.
Who sent that?
That's-
Nobody's. it's
that's
just
580.
Nobody.
580. No name.
Oh, okay.
And then we have My Glove by Mike Love from Carolyn Hextable. My Glove.
My glove.
Glove.
My glove.
If only he had some sort of ornate glove that he could write that about. Yeah.
I wouldn't read a whole book, not a whole, like 20 chapters on his glove.
Yeah, you're
Maybe
probably
one.
Right. Probably right. It could be a brochure. Okay.
I wonder if for the Beach Boys it's time to throw in the towel. That's what I wonder.
The book? No. Oh. Well. Oh. Keith says, that's our Keith.
Oh yeah.
I always know because he says bro at the end.
Okay.
The book should be called Amour and More.
And
So it's
more.
love and more.
And more.
Or love or money. Or love and money.
Love
That's
or
from
money,
Keith.
yeah.
Love or money.
You still got it.
Oh, he has.
Well, what other contact from the outside world has there been?
Oh well, we've had emails. I'm not saying it's email corner, but
I don't know what they'll think of next. You don't want me to play the jingle at this stage,
I'm
do
not
you?
bossing you about. You do it if
No,
you want to
no,
do
if
it.
you're
You
gonna
don't
be-
have
if
to
you're
do
gonna-
it. I
if you're
just
gonna be
thought we were
sniffy.
heading towards
It's all
email
getting a bit
corner.
Beach Boys.
Email corner. What about this one? I'd forgotten this one completely.
God, that's depressing.
Isn't it?
And I actually recorded that while drinking a glass of water.
Amazing.
Where did the whistle come from, you're asking?
There
Well
should be a
done.
woman going, I love you, can't you see it over there? Oh, it's so depressing.
Hold on, before you read this, I think
on.
we better have some music. You know, we've got certain obligations. We're a music channel.
Hmm.
I know it gets away in all of this sizzling chat.
Okay.
But hey, sit back and enjoy this.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So here's an email. Hi Frank, M and Al. Yeah. I listen to the show by podcast and I'm surviving quite well without the adverts, but must admit to missing the songs. Still, you don't get anything for free these days. He started quite low beat.
There is a podcast. What is that podcast you can get?
Oh, the cloud thing. Mixcloud.
Mixcloud, yeah. So that gets my choices on. Plus the chat.
In a factory. What?
Speak, I've got headphones on. It's no good standing there going, Mixcloud. Project. You'd have been no good at Rose Bruford.
I'll continue.
wonderful drama school.
Okay.
I felt I should let you know about a compulsion I've developed along the lines of your Cashpoint theme, Got Brass in Pocket. We are soon to enter the period.
I should say that whenever I take money out of a cash point, I always leave singing "Got Brass in Pocket" by the Pretenders. I still do it.
Little tunes for life, isn't it? We're soon to enter a period that I call Black Eyed Peas. That is winter time, when we need to wrap up warm, and I always seem to have a glove missing when it's time to go out. Really? Whilst looking frantically for said item, I sing, "I only got one glove," which somehow comforts me, and of course, if I can't find it, I can always pretend I'm Michael Jackson. With love from the sunny south coast.
Best not to do that.
Bournemouth.
No.
Yeah, exactly. P.S. Stayed awake all night last night trying to remember Les Dennis's name and refused to Google it to help. Glad I remembered, but very tired today.
Well, respect to you, because one of our house rules is that you only Google if you don't know, not if you don't remember. Now, that would have done fabulous things for the neurons in your brain.
Yes, you're
His
right.
grey matter has had a workout, hasn't it?
I had a similar experience. Sorry,
I was just going to say, read this glove reference. I think they've overlooked. Surely it should be Where is the Glove? Which was the Black Eyed Peas song.
Yeah.
That's better.
Or in Bob Marley, one glove, one bare hand. Well, I spent what must have been an hour and 40 minutes trying to remember the name of the film in which Sharon Stone crosses her legs in a provocative fashion.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't, and I would not Google under any circumstances. And interestingly, one of the names that kept coming into my head was Brief Encounter. And I realised after, that's exactly what it wasn't. It was almost like I got this. My brain was still thrown in a couple of puns, even in a moment of distress. Yeah. So, of course, in case you worried, it's basic instinct.
Frank, we've had a text in. What would you say is my best chance to get into radio with no experience? That's from Laura. I just wondered if you might be able to help.
Well, it worked for me. I think your best thing is to become a borderline national treasure. Anyway, if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week, and we love you all.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.